Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Deconstructing the Dark Passenger podcast, the podcast about all things Dexter. I'm Jean.
I'm Victoria.
Moving right along, season 4, episode 4. Dex takes a holiday. Very clever.
Whoop whoop.
Clever.
I love how we open up this one because Rita and the kids are going to a wedding, so Dexter's gonna get some sleep time.
No, but he's not going to get any sleep because he's got something to do. Absolutely one of my favorite monsters, quote unquote, monsters of the week. Officer Zoe Kruger. Now,
Yes.
I do want to note here in the beginning before they leave, Rita presents to Dexter a world's best dad or whatever, little mug.
The cup, yeah.
It's got Dexter Harrison's little paw print on the bottom.
I know, it's so cute.
That will actually, believe it or not, be important later.
Yes, and get ready because this is the second episode in all of the 4 seasons where I cried.
Okay, so this episode is a roller coaster because yes, there's upsetting things, but then there is one of those memorable, hilarious lines in Dexter history.
Yes.
And if you've ever watched it and I say Zoe Kruger, you know exactly what line that is. But let's go. Let's talk about the episode.
Yes.
Zoe Kruger is an officer at the Pembroke Pines Police Department. Apparently, her entire family was killed. Her husband and her daughter. And
She was shot.
She was shot.
Sorry.
There was this guy, Darius Ray, who was a drug dealer that she'd had a scuffle with earlier in the week. And then a few days later, her family comes up dead. And sure enough, they find Darius's blood at the scene. But the blood guy at Pembroke Pines was never convinced.
Yeah, it was one little swipe of blood.
It didn't have any context. It didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it was like a whole house and 2 people got killed in it. There's blood all over, and then there's this one swipe of his blood.
And
One swipe.
now Dexter is giving us all this background as he is watching Zoe at a shooting range, nailing it. The girl's got an eagle eye.
Yes.
And her story for that night was that Darius attacked everybody, shot her, killed her family, shot her, and she shot him, but she just winged him. She didn't get him.
Yeah.
And Dexter's like watching her nail these targets from 100 feet away. She's like, oh, okay, she couldn't shoot a guy 10 feet away. Not believable, right? So this could be what keeps Dexter busy for 72 hours.
Yes.
Deb and Lundy are hiding at the station. They are hiding in Dexter's lab from Maria.
Yes. It is so funny.
It's hilarious.
They look like 2 little kids in a candy store when Dexter walks in on them.
Well, what has happened is that Joey's girlfriend ran this story talking about Lundy back in town, and he's making messes, and Maria's like, I do not like this, so she revokes his visitor badge.
Poor Lundy.
She just comes right in, and I mean, they knew they were. I was like, what?
You're going to get caught.
What was the plan, guys? Okay. Trinity. Every single scene with him is... I love this show. And I'm never shy about the issues that I have with this show. But one thing I have to say about Trinity. Every single scene with him. This section of the story where they're developing his character for us so we really have a good grip on him before him and Dexter interface. Every single scene with him feels so intentional. Like, so intentional and so thought out in a way that most scenes of this series, at least the original series, barring maybe the first season, a couple of shots of the first season, like nothing else feels this intentional.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because there's so many moving parts in the creation of any piece of media that you don't know who to credit or who to thank for this. But just every time Trinity is there interacting with people, he's this guy. As much as I loved the first season, you still didn't even. And Brian was not a good guy, and you know he definitely had these moments of like, this guy is fucking scary.
Yeah.
But it's not this constant sense of menace like with the Trinity guy.
Yeah. I mean, with Trinity, you see him and you're just like, oh shit, what's about to happen?
Yeah, my skin's just crawling every
Yeah.
time. But he's in a library.
Yeah. He's using the computer and there's like these 2 kids and they're in the library and they're like talking back and forth and he just turns to them. He's like, shh.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very intimidating. I mean, like, as a young girl would be intimidated, as old man's like, but they're all like, okay, sir, okay.
Yeah.
But he's out of sorts because he sees Lundy, Agent Grandpa, serial killer hunter, is in Miami. He's like, oh no, I'm not happy about this.
Yeah.
Vince Masuka is on vacation. That's how Lundy and Deb are able to hide out in the lab. He is in Mexico. According to Deb, he is in Mexico taking on a donkey show tour, which is, I mean, you know, the man did just make dolls just so he could see their panties. So maybe he is on a donkey show tour.
Maybe.
Anyway, this Angel and Maria thing, I'm not going to talk about it too much because it's unnecessary. I'm not sure why it's there.
It's the one thing they put in this season to fill some gaps.
There's a couple things in this season that, you know, looking back on it now, I'm like, I wish they had done something different with this particular part of the story. But this Angel Maria thing, I don't even hate the idea of Angel and Maria together. It's not that, but I'm like, this is taking time away from other parts of the show that I'd rather be watching. And to what end, I don't know. It just seemed, it gets to a point in the story where somebody gets very impatient with them, and they were really channeling me at that point. But anyway, so I will only talk about Angel and Maria if it becomes important. Like,
Maria wants to go to the brass, and
she wants
Angel
to go to the
doesn't want
brass,
to.
and Angel doesn't want to. It's a bunch of back and forth. And in Captain Matthews' words, it's a bunch of middle school bullshit.
Yeah.
That is this entire storyline. It's ridiculous. I don't care. I don't care about it at all. I love Angel. I love Maria. But this was the stupidest storyline ever. So anyway, Dexter is going about his investigation of Zoe. I mean, he already knows it's her, but he's got to be sure.
Yeah.
But he realizes she was wearing gloves. She had to, but the pictures that they took of her right after the police were called to the scene, he can tell by the way the blood spatter is on her hand because it cuts off too cleanly. So she was clearly wearing gloves during the murders.
Yeah. And he goes by her house thinking he's going to have to break in, and there's an open house.
She's selling the house.
So he gets to just walk in and look at the pictures as on his phone as he's going through the house to figure it all out.
Well, yeah. There's a great moment where he goes into the little girl's room. And he has an exchange with her because Zoe's there.
Yes.
She wasn't there when he got there, but while he's in the little girl's room, it's right next to where he actually is standing. And Zoe pops up, and he's being very pointed. He's like, "It's great, just a nice room for a little girl, great house for a family." But as he's investigating the Zoe thing, Harry's coming to him, and Harry will do this throughout the season with Trinity as well. But Harry is coming to him. He's like, "Look, Zoe wanted to get out so bad. She killed her family."
Yep.
Like, do you want to do that? Do you want to kill poor little Aster and Cody to get away? I mean, he doesn't say that, but, you know, there's a lot going on here. There's Deb and Anton. Anton is noticing that Deb is not over Lundy.
Yeah. He's like, your voice goes up when you're talking to him. You twist your hair when you're talking to him.
Yes. Jennifer Carpenter did a lot of good stuff. I think this was the thing. She did a lot of good stuff in this season, but I feel like this weird schoolgirl stammering shit around Lundy that was very visible to everybody around her. I don't think it was her fault. I think they just wrote this stupid shit and she had to deal with it. It's like, she's a grown-up. She's had sex before. She knows how to act around people.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and she tells him, she's like, don't be jealous, Anton.
Yeah, don't be jelly of Super Agent Grandpa, whatever. What do they call him? Special Agent.
Super Agent Grandpa? Really? Stop it.
Special Agent Grandpa.
Man, no respect for Lundy, y'all.
I love Lundy.
I love Lundy, too.
We're talking about Trinity and his excursions. Let's talk about Trinity in the alley. Wow. My God, I have so many favorite moments from this season. Somehow, this one had just slipped my mind, and I don't know why.
I don't even know how.
I don't know how. It is an amazing scene on so many levels. So we know that, okay, so Trinity, we have the bathtub woman, we have the woman that jumps to her death, and then the next thing he's supposed to do is bludgeon a man with a hammer, an older man with a hammer. So it was, you know, outside a bar, whatever, and, you know, we don't get all the details. So he's waiting in this alley behind this bar, and this guy comes out. And, like, John Lithgow's not a small man, right? He's over 6 feet tall, yep. And this guy that comes out, I mean, he looks like he's in good shape, but he's smaller man, you know. He's just an average-sized guy. He's not, you know, big and bulky or anything. And it's like, disturbing, and I mean, I say hilarious, like in like a nervous laughter, disturbing way, because he calls him a cunt. He sure loves calling people a cunt.
Oh, yeah. That word is used a lot by Trinity.
He loves that word. He's calling this man a cunt, and he's dropping the F-bomb at him and everything.
You're a pussy.
You're a pussy. But he's saying it like he's remaining distant from this guy, and he truly sounds like a little kid making fun of somebody over the fence.
Yeah.
He's like, cunt, you're a pussy. You know, he's like shaking and stammering, and then the guy comes at him. He's like, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? Because I'm about to kick your ass. It's an amazing piece of acting. It's an amazing glimpse into Trinity's psychology. And I mean, truly, people talk about it in writing in general, but also in any type of media like this where you show, don't tell. Like, always show us things about the person rather than, not always, but usually it's more appropriate to show us something about a person than tell us. You could have just told us this information that we got from this scene, but it wouldn't have been interesting. We learned so much in this scene about his motivations and what his real relationship is to what we find out later about the man that gets bludgeoned. It's truly astonishing. It really is. It's quite a scene. Aside from the fact that it's hilarious. Because this guy just turns around like, you just call me a cunt? Wait, what are we doing?
That's when the guy starts beating him.
Which is what he wanted. It's clear that's what he wanted. He's cowering in fear, which is legitimate. But we will learn he needed this man to beat him.
Yes.
He needed it for it to happen like this. This is part of his ritual. But it was just so much insight in this, just a fucking 2-minute scene. It was really astonishing.
It really was.
Back in this open house with Zoe and Dexter. Zoe lies to Dexter because he's asking about this house, about why you're selling this great house. And she said, well, my husband and I are separated. Yes, you are. You're permanently separated. Yes. Definitely separated. He figures that she disposed of her gloves before the police got there that night. She disposed of them in the garbage disposal. So there should theoretically, could possibly maybe be something in there. I think this is a long shot, and I don't think this would have worked in the real world for a couple reasons. But so he makes a pretense to pop off the garbage disposal, you know, to find out why it's not turning, because he made it not turn. I just want to say I have a garbage disposal is very similar to the one here. I'll be damned if that motherfucker comes off that easily. Nope. I know it's supposed to, but I also know it does not. My suspension of belief was just shattered here. I was like, that did not happen. No, it didn't happen like that.
Well, I mean, maybe he was stronger, and that's why that disposal came off so much easier.
He just twisted this thing off like a fucking beer can.
I think you're just jealous that he did that.
Anyway, Zoe is impressed. She thinks he's very handy. What's Zoe gonna do? Zoe's got something on her mind. Anyway, Deb and Lundy are getting mushy. Lundy has to confess that he's all up in his feelings about Deb too. Well, whatever. Okay, yeah, it's there's too much with that. I mean, there's too much with this, but I feel like there's
It's funny how it happens.
It almost feels like they just dumped a soap opera in the middle of my Dexter, you know?
Well, because it was like, you know, Deb's like, you know, I'm so glad you can control yourself. And he's like, well, I didn't know if I could when I got back. And she just stands up and she's like, Jesus fuck. And she just like, she gets so upset about it. And it's like, why are you getting upset when he's actually trying to tell you how he feels? You can tell she's still into him, but you can also tell she's torn because of Anton.
You know, I don't understand. They basically disposed of Gianna as if she had never happened. I don't know why they couldn't have done that to Anton. Not because I don't like Anton, because I do like Anton a lot. And I understand that later there's a couple dramatic strokes that are better for the fact that Anton was still here. But it makes all this shit very clumsy and weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel natural. I know why they do it, but like, again, I think it comes back to then just have her and Anton break up between the seasons like you did with Angel and Gianna.
Yeah. Yeah, because the explanation about Gianna being gone is just that they wanted separate things.
Okay.
And it's like...
That would have made more sense with Anton and Deb.
Yeah.
Who were much different people than Angel and Gianna. Who were practically just male and female versions of each other.
Yeah, I really like Gianna, though.
Yeah. Again, it's not a matter of me not liking Lundy, because I do like Lundy. I like Anton too. And I understand that they needed to set this up to get a certain effect later on. But it just feels clumsy. Maybe some of the time that we spent on this stupid Angel and Maria storyline, we could have spent making this particular part of the storyline
A little stronger.
make it stronger, feel better. Yeah.
Soap opera-less.
Make it, yeah, it just feels kind of silly. It feels immature.
Yeah. Yeah, because the next scene is like Dexter comes back to the office.
Yeah.
And he walks into his lab and Angel is standing there. And he's like, hey. Angel's like, I want you to know I'm having relations with Maria. And I'm just like, what is going on? It's weird because, like, we get these little snippets of Angel or Maria talking, and it's like,
why
that's the stuff that needed to be taken out more than anything.
We didn't need this. I don't know. Did they need...
Dexter did not need to know that they were having sex.
It was, yeah. I mean, I think, like, couldn't we find something else for these characters to do? I mean,
anything. Like, work on the case drawing.
Yeah, I think it's just really just these couple little things here. It's these romantic storylines in this season. But they do this every season. They tend to want to do too much.
Yeah. And they feel like they have to have, like, some kind of a relationship going on other than Dex and Rita.
Angel had plenty to do. Maria's got plenty to do. And it's not like these were big, beefy scenes or whatever. You know, you could have given those actors other things to do. I just don't get it. And it makes Deb seem... I know part of Deb's character is that she's kind of stunted because of Harry and stuff like that. I mean, I get that, but she feels really juvenile here. I mean, she feels really silly.
It's like schoolgirlish.
Yeah, she can't even, like, act like a human being. It's really bizarre. But yeah, it's like you said, like, we're getting these scenes all broken up with why would Angel, why does Dexter care? Dexter's not your supervisor.
Exactly. They put him in the middle of it, and we all know that Dex hates that.
Dex doesn't want to know.
Yeah, he does not want to know anything.
Okay. So at the station, we get these big chunks of stuff happening at the station. For example, Deb laying into Quinn about Christine and the Lundy story just as Christine shows up.
Yeah, she gets off the elevator and Deb's like, I don't think she got the memo. Because Quinn's like, we're not dating. And she's like, yeah, I don't think she got the memo.
Yeah. He responds to it well. He's like, Christine, you got to
go.
This is not working.
Yeah, this is my work. You cannot be here. Yeah. Go.
Now, this scene, so Lundy goes to the first, what we believe is the first bludgeoning in the series, occurred at this bar. There was a bartender 30 years before in this alley, right? Well, what's there now? Lundy is there. And while Lundy is there, Trinity emerges. And he knows who Lundy is now.
Yep, he's seen him.
And he actually says, I'm found. Like, he knows, like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This man is on to me. So, Lundy he's got his little voice recorder, and he's recording all this stuff, like his thoughts about the case. And Trinity does the oopsie bumps into him thing.
Which I didn't understand why he would do that.
I don't know. You get a vibe later on that Trinity was almost done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've thought about that, why he did that.
Have you? Because I've thought about it a lot. I'm like, why did he bump into... He could have walked miles away from him. He did not have to walk anywhere near him. He didn't have to bump into him and drop his keys. Like, he didn't have to do any of that. So what was the purpose of that? Knowing what Lundy does, what Lundy's career is, and all the killers Lundy has caught... Why would you bump into the one person that could probably take you out?
But I think also we see a lot of him where he kind of veers back and forth between very confident and very scared. And I think maybe that's what was happening here. It was like at first he's like, oh no, he's found me. And then he's like, I'm just going to bump into him and like, just what's this guy's deal? Yeah, I haven't been caught for 30 years. Why would I get caught now just bumping into somebody? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wondered about it, though. But it's important because he drops his keys and Lundy calls him back for his keys. But Lundy takes off his glasses to look at the guy. He gets a good look.
Yeah.
And when he watches him get on the bus and he makes a note of, like, he describes what he looks like.
He even tells what bus he got on.
And he says his eyes, he's like a white male, about 60, gray hair, blue eyes, and he's like, there's something in them.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah. And there's another thing where it's like, we're not just hearing Lundy tell us there's something in his eyes. You can see it throughout.
Yeah.
That there's just always something, even when he's acting completely normal, there's always something in his eyes.
Yep.
Okay. Dexter is en route to Pembroke Pines.
Driving right along.
Driving right along. He gets pulled over by Officer Zoe. And she's like, hey,
Yeah, this is bad.
You didn't mention that you were a spatter analyst for Miami Metro. And she's like, look, leave it alone. This is my family. It is done. Do not get it reopened. Do not, whatever you think you're doing, don't do it.
I know you got the files. The file clerk called me and told me.
Yeah, because so the blood guy at Pembroke Pines is not a fan of Zoe's.
At all.
But the file clerk is her bud.
Yeah.
And he will be a problem. But she knows where Dexter lives.
Yeah, she
Makes a point of telling.
she makes a point of telling him, you need to go home, isn't it? And she says his address. Yep. And doesn't she say with your wife and kids?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
But yeah, but she definitely spits out his address at him. Yeah. Dexter goes home. He's like, I got a message from Lundy. Lundy's like, I had an interesting encounter today. Okay. Talk to Deb. This is where we really find out about the file clerk at Pembroke Pines, because Dexter calls up there. He's like, okay, I'm going to bait this bitch.
Yep.
So he calls up there and he's like, can I get the file on Darius Ray? And the file clerk's like, yeah, okay. And then he immediately calls Zoe like, hey, they're asking for Darius Ray.
Yeah.
Next time we see him driving, Officer Zoe on his tail again. But so he knows it this time. He's expecting her this time.
Yeah. She's
got Darius's file.
Yes.
Deliver it to him personally.
Yes.
Right? He's like, what are you going to do? You're going to murder me too?
Yeah. And this is where it gets funny, because she's like, I'll just say you raped me.
Yes.
And I'm like, really, bitch?
Yes. And he's telling her about the glove that he found in the garbage disposal. She's like, there's no chain of custody. Okay. I stopped there. I was like, there's no chain of custody. That has never mattered on this fucking show.
No. The chain of custody doesn't exist in Dexter's world.
Exist on Dexter, yeah. So Dexter's like, well, okay, that's fine. You know what? You can say I tried to rape you, whatever. But here's what happens if you try to shoot me. And he runs through all these scenarios. Like, there's no way you can get away with your little story, and there's no way you can shoot me here, because any analyst worth their salt will understand what I mean, he's breaking down every scenario.
He's telling her every kind of splatter that should happen, that won't happen if she shoots him standing right in front of them.
Yes. So she's like, foiled again. All right. Deb has been summoned by Lundy, so she arrives at their hotel, and the sexy making up starts. I'm like, okay, all right, you crazy kids, you get on it. And Dexter is at home, and he already knows what he's done. He's, what he keeps calling it, stirred the hornet's nest or something, or poked the bee or something. Poke the nest, touch the bear.
Let's just go with pokes the hornet's nest. We know that's a real expression.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
They poke the hornet's nest.
Or shake the hornet's nest?
Poke the hornet's nest.
Poke the bear, shake the hornet's nest, right?
You know what? It's just calling it causing trouble.
Okay, he was causing trouble with Miss Zoe, Officer Zoe. And so she did exactly what he thought she was going to do, and she shows up at his house.
Breaks in.
We're going to get into this in a couple episodes, where he starts doing his annoying inner monologues that don't make sense with what we're seeing. But here he has this nice thing about how he's got these pictures and stuff. These are props and the camouflage of a family man. I thought it was a nice turn of phrase and a nice way to think about it, but it's also, and it's okay here, but when he starts getting into it later, it stops making sense.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, Dexter, stop relearning your lesson every season. But when Zoe gets there,
Dex is laying in wait.
Yes, he is laying in wait. She picks up one of Harrison's toys off the floor, and she kind of just drops it back down. And he's like, that hand's the first thing I cut off.
Yeah.
And she breaks his dad mug.
Oh, that bitch. during the fight, but still.
Yes. It feels ominous because when he goes to clean it up later, it's just Harrison's little hand.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this kill scene.
It was amazing.
It's amazing. It's a great setup. I remember thinking this took me back to the psychiatrist in the first season, where I love that kill scene so much because like everything about it made sense and came together and worked. This is that. He's got the pictures of her family hanging from a mobile, like a baby's mobile, hanging over her, like turning over her, which is great. He has got her boat tickets for the Philippines. Yep. So it's gonna look like she cut out because she knew they were on to her.
And she's like, "I'm not going anywhere."
But
yeah, you are.
And then she's like, "Truly, one of the greatest exchanges." She's like, "What you can do? You're gonna rape me and then kill me." And Dexter's, "What is it with you and rape? Nobody's raping anybody." What are you doing?
I love it because the way he looks at her, the way he says it is just great.
He's just like, "What the? No,
yeah, like what is with you and rape?"
I'm a murderer, not a rapist. Like, y'all. I mean, he just does it because he does like the jazz hands and everything. He's like, nobody's raping anybody.
And she's trying to tell him, you can't hide what you are.
Yeah, she does. She gets his attention for a minute because she's explaining, like, I did it because I couldn't breathe because it was like every time I turn around, somebody wanted something.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was like, this was so funny. She's like, what kind of father does this? And he's like, well, not the kind that kills his whole family. Like, which is, what are you talking about? You just killed your whole family. I'm just killing you. This is a great thing, too, because he gets her blood on the blood slide, and he kind of, the way he's holding it, the light comes down, so it's like right on her forehead. The red spot of the blood is right on her forehead.
Yeah.
It's a great shot.
It is a great shot.
I must have had fun filming this scene. He has a revelation that he would rather risk Rita and the kids knowing the truth about him than to lose them in another way.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, again, this makes sense. This feels in line with his progression as a character. This revelation feels in line. Like, this is the next step in his revelation about his feelings about them. He's getting bits and pieces of, like, I have these feelings about them. What do these feelings mean? How much would I give for them? Things like that. And this is kind of the next step in that revelation, which is not congruent at all with, like, oh, the pictures are just costumes and they're just pretend. As I said, obviously he cares about them.
Yes.
And he knows that, and he knows it here by the end of the episode, and he knew it before the beginning of the episode, so I don't know why we had this weird backtrack in the middle with the pictures. It didn't make any sense.
Well, that's what they did, though.
That is what they did. I think somebody wrote that cool dialogue about the camouflage of a family man, and they had to keep it. So
yeah.
Head Harry is castigating him because he's saying you didn't raise a loner. And Harry's like, well, probably should have, because then we wouldn't be having all these problems now. Meantime, Deb and Lundy are walking out of the hotel after their sexy times. Deb gets shot. We don't know what happens. She just looks down and she's got a hole. And Lundy's like, looks over her shoulder like, what is that? And then he's shot. Twice.
He falls. Deb's already on the ground. Lundy falls.
They do fall when they do the camera. They pull the camera up so they're getting a bird's eye view. They basically fell in a heart shape. You actually hear Lundy's last breaths. You can hear his breathing, and then his breathing slowing down and stopping.
Yeah, and Deb's looking at him, and it's like she knows he just breathed for the last time, and then all of a sudden her eyes close and it's over. But like, I cry every time I see it. I cry every time I see this scene.
I think I cried the first time. It's upsetting to me, but I'm going to be real. Deb's reaction to it, with the initial shock when I watched it the first time and I wasn't expecting it, that was one thing. So I got very upset. But in subsequent viewings, it's been Deb's reaction to it.
Yeah.
That upsets me more.
Yeah. And whoever just shot them runs over and robs Lundy. Takes Lundy's wallet, his watch.
Well, then it'll look like a robbery, won't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, your job as a storyteller is definitely to manipulate my emotions, but I don't like it when I can see you moving it, Yeah. But, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't detract from anything, and it's a well-acted scene. But again, I go back to the real power in it is not the scene itself. The real power is what it does to them.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that this scene is not heartbreaking, but this feels more like the easy reach heartbreak. Oh, these two lovers get reunited and then torn away from each other. Yeah, it's sad, but it feels easy almost, which is a terrible thing to say. These other sad scenes that we get later, especially with Deb, how she has to deal with this situation and another situation as she progresses through other things in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Her reaction to those things, her reaction to this, those to me are those are not easy riches, and they are devastating because they feel true and they resonate.
Exactly. And I mean, you want to believe that she loved Lundy, and things could have been better this time though too.
But again, that's like so superficial. They could have done that. The revelations she ultimately has about herself because of what happens to Lundy, it could have been anything that caused those revelations. So that's what I mean. This is almost ancillary, Yeah. Like her revelations were the important part. Again, I like Lundy, I like Anton,
it's annoying the way they went about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I really felt manipulated. Here's the thing. This storyline was saved by its acting. It might have been saved by this particular scene, but the rest of the storyline is naked manipulation in a way that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We could have cut the Angel and Maria stuff out.
Yes.
Or we could have just dropped Anton altogether. There's a few ways we could have gone that would have made a lot more sense with everything. They're dealing with all this other heavy stuff, especially Deb. Deb has incredibly adult reactions and realizations about herself later because of this.
Yes.
She's acting like a 12-year-old, and then all of a sudden she has the wisdom of a hard-fought 50-year-old,
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, in my experience, people that are this underdeveloped, they don't have a sudden revelation because of a tragedy. They just react like an underdeveloped person to a tragedy,
Yeah.
Do you have anything else about this episode?
No, it made me cry, and, but it's a really good episode. It lays a lot out there, and you kind of start to see Quinn's true colors come out, too, a little bit. And you think we're going to see him more and more this rest of the season.
Man, I
don't even know what to think about Quinn. The first time I ever watched this, I was very unsettled about Quinn. I don't know if I ever truly came around to him.
I never truly came around to Quinn. I don't think I ever did.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I think especially in the later seasons and in Resurrection, they definitely want us to feel differently about Quinn than anything they gave us to work with in this season.
The Quinn they gave us to work with during the original 8 seasons, it's not somebody that you want to like.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to actively hate him or anything, but it's not even to me like a Dokes or even a Masuka, where they may be off-putting in some ways, but they have their charms.
Yeah.
I mean, Joey's
had none of that.
Every time I saw her start to soften up for a little bit, I'm like, now I remember why I don't like this asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. There might have been an episode or two where I was like, oh, and then the next episode it would make me go, oh, that's why I don't like him.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Exactly. Yeah, and then I guess in Resurrection we were supposed to forget all that. We're like, oh yeah, Joey ain't so bad. Because,
nope, not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Anyway. All right, do you have anything else?
Nope, I'm all good.
Okay. Well, until next week when we're talking about episode 5. You can also check out our other podcasts, The Final Assessment, which is our podcast about the show Evil. And you can check out our movie podcast, Outside Food and Drink. We're doing Vacations from Hell. And you can check all those out. We will drop all that information in the show notes. You can follow us on our socials, or you can send us an email. What do you think about Joey Quinn?
Yeah, please tell me what you think about Joey. And if you do like him, give me the reasons why. And if you don't, tell me why. Let's compare notes.
Let's talk about Joey Quinn.
Yes. What?
Like the angry Irish. And so anyway, yes, let's do that. And until next week when we talk about episode 5.
Later.
Later.